Hello, good evening. Welcome back to Rangers Radio. Hearts 1, Rangers 1 at Ibrox. Arguably our best performances this season, but ultimately for a frustrating day. Join myself, Fox, here. Back on the show is my mate Fox. How we doing, Fox?
Evening, Ox.
Listen, I know Alan McGregor he'll get the blame for his dropping 2 points because it was his error, but I think we've got to put the ball in the back of the net more in these situations, mate, yeah?
Aye, it was a tale of two halves, a tale of two goalkeepers and a tale of missed chances. And I think we need to look at the game in two halves. We were superb in the first half. We were absolutely brilliant play by Rangers, short, swift passing, intricate movement, absolute delight to watch. I thought the midfield were tremendous in the first half. Second half, we came out as we have done for a long, long time and only played one decent half. Hearts pushed forward, we conceded the wings to them, and eventually they got a goal through a mistake by Alan McGregor, but we should have had that game out of sight long, long before that.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel as if, obviously, Alfie had one of the games, and he'll also get a part of the blame for us not winning, because, God, he had enough chances to maybe win 3 games for us, didn't he?
He did. The ball just never couldn't go right for him all afternoon. I don't know. Craig Gordon also had a tremendous game, as did Alan McGregor, right up until his mistake at the end. I've got to I will disagree with what I said before in the earlier show. I didn't give Hearts any credit. Fair play to them. They came out and had a go in the second half and probably overall deserved their draw.
I don't think they did, Fox, over the 90 minutes, but if you take the second half into there wasn't much in it in the second. They might have shaded it in the second half, but if it was a boxing match, they could stopped at half time, mate.
Aye, without a doubt, but football is a game of two halves, and you've got to put teams to bed. We failed to do it. Mm-hmm. But on the first half display, I thought it was absolutely marvellous, mate. I was off the edge of my seat here watching it.
Some of the interpassing was superb, wasn't it? Superb.
Oh, great. Wright's running with the ball, and we were creating all round about the box. Hadji was decent. But the second half, when we came out, we just never got off in the right foot, Ox. I think the two full-backs were told to stay back, and that allowed Hearts to push up and give them the full left and right-hand side of the park to attack us with.
See the two players you mentioned, Wright and Hadji. Like everybody else, I thought they were very good in the first half. And I'm not having a quote Hadji here, but I think when they came inside, they were having to chase, and the two of them at the same time seemed to fall out of the game. And then we stopped getting the ball up to Alfie. And I would have personally brought Sakala on rather than the boy Pacuna, just because he's pace, mate. That's all.
Aye, I would have as well, because Hearts had pushed so far up. It was pace we needed, no somebody that was very delicate with the ball. I'll give Bakuna his due, mate. He put in 2 superb balls to create 2 chances for us. One for Ruth that Gordon managed to scramble against the post. And he also set up another one for Joe Aribo, who clipped the ball to Alfie, and Alfie put it by the post, mate, which was criminal.
Aye, that was it. The game was done then, mate. A second goal finishes the game, in my opinion, yeah.
Oh, aye. I don't know whether we tried to see the game out. This, once again, I'm looking forward to next Thursday and rotating the players, but Wright, I didn't think Wright was finished when they took him off, mate. I thought he was still full of running and could have stayed that way for me, but he took them off. And then at one time we had Bakuna and Hadji, who you rightly said had no pace to do anything. going forward. So, and the Alfie's not exactly the quickest either. So we done ourselves for having no pace against their back three.
Which I felt strange considering the kind of players they are. Yeah, they'll no like pace against them. Anyway, look, ultimately a better performance, but we never win the match, and we have to start taking more chances. So I think we'll get these phone lines open and hear what people's got to say. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, I mean, it was we're number 9, if you like, and we're goalkeeper will get it. But there was signs that there was improvement in the team, particularly in that first half. And also, Lundstrom were man of the match, mate.
Him and Joe Aribo, I thought, had a tremendous game as well. Lundstrom obviously gets it for a tremendous strike just before half-time. I thought he commanded the whole of the midfield of the park. Lundstrom hardly wasted the ball. Joe Aribo was very industrious as well as very, very intelligent.
Showed great skills at times, didn't he?
Oh, which close control is absolutely fabulous. Glenn Kamara worked his butt off. There wasn't a failure in the first half, to be fair. But how it changed after half-time, and it must have been depressing for the boys at the game, sitting watching how that game can drift away for us like that.
Is that when we've got to be more flexible in our tactics, Fox?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Anyway, we've enjoyed with Jim for Paisley.
All right. Who's always cheery? How are we doing, Jim?
Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Alex? Cheers, nice to speak to you.
Aye, mate. Aye. Give us your thoughts, mate. Give us your thoughts.
Oh, thoughts. Listen, maybe if the show had been on later on, I'm really gutted, dogs. I thought I thought the first half display is the best we've played for all season, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the midfield were absolutely outstanding. Outstanding, the three-player in midfield. But what I would like to suggest to you, I think the gaffer cost us 2 points today.
Substitutions?
Yes, absolutely. Now, they're going to... listen, when Celtic came to us, they came at us big time the last 10, 15 minutes, and we held out. Well, you thought it was going to happen today. See, they may say substitutions today, Ox. Now, I don't know how surprised you were when they took Joe Aribo off. He's what? Taking him off, right? Even the best player, he was the best player in Scotland today, as far as, our park anyway. I could not see why he did that.
I was between, I'm different from Fox, I was between Wright and Hadji. Only the Hadji one was for pace, because they were pushing up and we were getting behind them. Hadji had a good game up until then. I'm not criticising his performance, but I wanted more pace, and that pace would have came from me for the boy Sakala, mate.
Fox?
Yes, mate.
In my opinion, the way I saw the game today, see if they take Greg Stewart off and Joe Aribo off, they were doing a high press. They were. You don't have to make tackles. You only have to stand in front of people.
You mean Scott Wright, no Greg Stewart?
Scott Wright. Sorry, I'm miles over here. He's up my anus, right? Soon they takes these two off. That stops them coming forward. It kind of cuts them out. As soon as they come off the park, that finished us today. As far as in retrospect, looking at the game now. It seemed a good idea at the time, probably for him to.
The gaffer will say to you, Jim, if he wouldn't criticise Alan McGregor because everybody can make a mistake. But if the gaffer says if Griggsy catches that one, the game peters out and we win the game 1-0 and everything's rosy.
But see, for me, 1-0 wasn't enough for us today.
No, you've got to go and get that second goal. This stopping playing, we've got to go and kill teams off, mate. I think you're spot on there. Fox.
Did you know? Oh, sorry. Oh, that right. Okay.
Fox, and then back to you, Jim.
I thought that I'm with Jim. I think the manager's to blame there. I don't know what he said to them at half time. We were on the ball in the first half. Second half, we come back and sat deep for some reason. I didn't understand that. I think he maybe thought that he'd run the heart out of Hearts, but the fullbacks both stayed back. And as I said earlier, we gifted the wings to their fullbacks then. And that's where we got all our problems, doing both wings. And I think it was a mistake with the manager. I really do.
I agree with you, folks. I agree with you, everything you said there. And I think you have to take a second look at yourself, because see, making substitutes just for the sake of making substitutes, I don't think you have to make a substitute in the 65th minute or 70th minute. If it's tape out, folks, if it's still broken, don't fix it, because we were all over them, folks.
I would have made a substitution then. I would have brought the pace on then. Yeah, I would have brought pace on. I wouldn't have took Scott Wright off. I would have took Hadji off. Just as I said, not that I thought Hadji was poor, just to bring pace onto the team. Because Morelos is playing up against him and putting balls round the corner, and that pace gives us a different outlet, yeah. But look, hindsight's a wonderful thing, Jim.
Yep, it is. Absolutely. You're right. Right. Till late was a cry.
You know, but look, I've got to say, I thought Joe Aribo and I thought Lundstrom for me, even though he had a wee patch in the second half where he get caught a couple of times, I thought he was our best player over the 90 minutes, I think.
The toss-up was you and him and Big Joe, I thought.
Aye, I wouldn't argue about Joe Aribo, but Lundstrom shaded it, particularly for the goal. You know, maybe something that we've needed for midfield, folks. But if we look at it, we're forwards collectively aren't scoring enough goals. Fox?
Oh, without a doubt. I think I read somewhere in the lobby earlier on, we had 22 shots at goal today, 10 on target and 1 goal, which is an absolutely ridiculous stat for us at Ibrox, mate. 22 shots at target and 10 on target, and we scored 1 goal. Craig Gordon admittedly had a few good saves, but that doesn't make it any better. Alfie, I don't know. I thought maybe looking for that 100th goal, I think he snatched at everything today, whereas a wee bit of composure and he has a couple of easy goals for me.
Fox, but Fox, right, man. I mean, I know it's running out of time. Would you have hooked Alfie?
Maybe.
I'd have took him off and brought Ruth on.
Aye, me too. Aye.
The only thing we don't know, mate, is a lot of players were away for international duty there. We don't know what they had in the tank. They look good for us on the telly, but they might have been tiring. Like Joe Aribo, who put in a tremendous shift, could have been tiring, but he didn't look at it. He was still making runs right up to before he got taken off. I don't know what the manager was thinking there at all. I blame the manager for the defeat today.
It wasn't a defeat, no, Fox. It wasn't a defeat.
It's a defeat in my mind, mate. Mm-hmm. We dropped 2 points today that we didn't need to lose. Look, we dropped 2 points and it feels like a defeat, doesn't it, Jim?
It does, folks. I'm not. But we watched that first half. It was easy, mate. We're all over them, but just get that final. Well, Alfie was the kicking it, but anyway. So you think yourself, if you're not doing it, well, get somebody else that can do it. Get somebody else. Ruth can do it. See if the chances landed to Kamar Ruth today. I think we're probably 2 or 3 up after 65 minutes or 60 minutes, after an hour, you know. He had a couple of good chances, Alfie, and swinging at fresh air and God knows what he was doing.
I don't think he'd have been fair to start Kamar Ruth today. You know, I think it's no right. I think he's done well, even going the pitch. He's gave us what he can, you know. Get him ready for Thursday. Yeah,
I agree with that. He only got back yesterday, so they wouldn't have got a full shift out of him. But still, it's no excuse for Alfie for not taking his chances today.
Here. Listen, you've got to put the ball in the net. That changes games. Goals change games.
But saying that, say that. When's the last time he played a number 9 right up front on his own? maybe it's just no use to that again. I don't. He's not been doing that position in the recent months.
I came good. He came deep today, and some of his play was fine.
How did die?
He'll be judged on the chances, and he had a lot of good chances the day that he's got to do better. And also, how did Balogun fail to make it 2-0 Fox before half time?
Well, that was a good save by Craig Gordon on the line. But it was a good header for Balogun originally. Same in the second half. Connor Goldson had a clear header as well and headed it straight at Craig Gordon as well. As we say, it's a day of real missed chances, Ox. And we do need to give Hearts a bit of credit here, mate. They did come into the game and probably, as I say, on the second half performance where they pushed us back, getting a draw for them was a great result,
Can somebody, I wonder if the manager maybe reword Jan Hadji. Can he stop shooting, pal? Just because you can see a glimpse of goal, look for something else to do, because it seems to want to. We did that a few times a day. Shoot at nothing really. We see these players a day that, and that's the thing. He's anyway.
Listen, I thought in the first half the link playing Hadji was involved in a lot of the quick passing, but when we go to the second half, I thought it was different for him, and I think that's where you've got to use your substitutes. You've got 3 substitutes, and you've got to use them. And they've changed their tactics, and we're not in control, and that's where I think that's when you're in your corner. So, look, I'm not criticising the management team. It's easy to be wise in hindsight, Fox, wise in hindsight. But that's what I said watching it. We need pace. Yeah, we need pace up there.
Well, especially...
He took his pace off, Fox, didn't
he? He took right off, aye.
The whole thing is that is twice we've been in front at Ibrox, against Motherwell and today against Hearts, where we look to be fairly comfortable and then threw away a goal late in the game. If you can't score them up front, you've got to defend them at the back, and we've failed to do so in both those games.
Aye, you need to listen. Look, clean sheets help, but when you're in tap, what we've been in tap in both the games, you've got to get that second goal. It changes the whole game. Jim?
Absolutely. And we did have I said we didn't have a great lot of chances either. Although we dominated a lot of the play for sleek passing, fast passing, the way we like to see it, the way we're used to seeing it. But the Valfie's no. If I tell you, the Billy boy needs the ball in front of goal. If he's going to play number 9 up front on his own, give enough service, he will score goals for us. But I don't think the service was there, plus the service. Anyway, but it did get the service eventually, but fresh air shots, and it wasn't at the game of the day. It wasn't at the races.
No, Alfredo didn't have a good game, and we can't blame international football and that for that. He was in the way.
Right,
he was in the way.
I'm not interested in international football because if you want to go in, and you're still going to be able to play for Rangers on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not fit, don't start. To say that to you, I'd like to have seen Alfie getting the hook and roof coming on earlier. I know we'll just change it. The different substitutions he made today. I think. I agree with Fox. The substitutions were months actually.
Do we need credit to Hearts for changing their shape?
We'll never, mate. We'll never, because that's what we're like, mate. They did change their shape, then that's what we've got to react. But we've got to put the ball in the net for the second goal, then their shape doesn't matter, Fox. We had enough chances, yeah?
We did.
Aye.
I think we're just looking for excuses now because we're all a bit deflated, mate. That's the truth, isn't it?
You're right. Anyway, but John B. Andrew from Crookston. How we doing, Andrew?
Yeah, all right, guys. How are you all doing? All doing? Right. The rest of you, Fox, how's things?
All right, Andrew.
What's your thoughts?
Just the first half, based on the first half, I thought were absolutely fantastic. Everybody agrees with that. The second half, Hearts will all change their shape to a 3-4-3, which made Barisic and Tav had to come inside and mark I can't mind the two boys' names, but anyway, that created the Hearts. That created chances for Hearts in the wide areas, which caused problems in the second half. So basically, if I was Gerrard, I would have changed that. I would have changed something. But going on to the game itself, the game should have been over and done in the first half. We're simply not taking our chances. We need to start. We need to start taking our chances and also seeing games out, because we've seen this story time and time and time again.
Well, we've not seen it time and time again. We've seen it twice this season, which is frustrating. But the second goal is the big goal. Jim?
Absolutely. They've said this, but Oxshire, I've said this in the past and previous calls I've made to the show, that we can all play 2/3 of a game. We seem to die a certain third, whether the first third, and see what's the last third, when the manager wants to make substitutions. This kills us. It kills us big time. If it's still broken, don't fix it. That's what I say.
Is that a fair criticism, Fox?
We could have run this game out of any bother day. See, we just left things away there. I think we could have ran out one. 1-0 wasn't enough for me anyway. For Ox, wasn't enough for me. Mm-hmm. I think we deserved to win 2 or 3. See, look at our performances up to the first 2/3 of the game. We were home free.
But the fact is, Jim, is we didn't, but we still were leading 1-0 and should have been able to see the game out.
No, I see it, folks. I know what you mean.
I couldn't work out. I couldn't work out what Bacuna was playing, Fox. When he came on and we put him in the Scott Wright position, then he comes in there. I couldn't work out if he was playing up front or making it into a 4. I just couldn't get it.
It was a strange decision, as you said. I would agree with you. I think we needed pace then to try and get behind their back three, which I wouldn't have said was very pacey. But when you bring on slower players, maybe he's brought them on to control the game, but it's backfired,
Mm-hmm. Aye. Anyway,
see the way that first half went. I don't know how you feel this. Fox wasn't different. The way I thought to myself, they will not finish this. The Hearts will not finish this game with 11 men in the park.
Oh, how the boy Devlin wasn't he booked about 3 times in the first half for pulling jerseys? Nothing major. Pulling jerseys was unbelievable. But I'm very interested to see what the Bridges go to say. But aye, the boy Devlin pulling jerseys constantly. I don't know if you picked up on that, Fox.
I did, but mate, that's part of the game. We can't blame the referee for that result today. It was in their own hands. In their own hands, and we let it go. That's what it's all about,
Well, I'm not blaming the referee for us missing chances or us losing a goal. What I'm saying is, in the first half, when we had them chasing shadows, how there wasn't more yellow cards for the pulling of jerseys? That's the only point I'm making, yeah?
Fair enough, but we got away with a couple of tasty tackles ourselves in that game.
That's allowed, but that's allowed. Andrew, who was your man of the match, mate, in a disappointing result?
My man of the match was John Lundstrom.
Mm-hmm. I think you're always going to be up there when you get that kind of goal, eh?
Obviously, yeah, definitely. But I did think, to be honest, he did pull the strings, especially the first half. I thought it was absolutely superb. When Hearts changed to the 3-4-3 in the second half, I don't think our midfield sort of got enough of the ball. So I think Lundstrom was sort of played out the game mostly in the second half. But apart, he didn't stop crying for me. He kept going, but it's if you want to win games, you've got to put your chances away, and we had many chances, and we just didn't do it.
Fox, in the second half, and then Jim for it after you, Fox. In the second half, did we lack width?
Well, when they changed to 3-4-3, mate, our midfield was out a man under, and they controlled it and got their full-backs forward. And as we said earlier, we conceded the wings to them. There was Barisic and Tab both sat back at the 18-yard box along with Goldson and Balogun. They were allowed to run at us, put balls into the box, which caused panic in our defence. And that's what changed the game for me. The midfield three that had been so brilliant in the first half got outmanned in the second half, and we gave the game away. It was a tactical bloomer by the manager for me.
Strong words from the Fox, Jim from Paisley.
Listen, I kind of disagree with anything the Fox has said there, because you don't say yourself, Borna Barisic, I don't know what he did, but I don't know, the last half. I don't know he did the whole game, actually. But the last half there especially, we'll win the second half, but especially the last half hour, non-existent.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Jim, do you need us a favour? You better get some of the prawn rings and put them by for the new year, because they're all gone fast, I'm hearing. So get it by for the buffet for the new year, all right, mate?
Absolutely. You know me, I'm always ready.
I know you're always ready. That was some do last year. That was a highlight of the new year.
I'll go to Farm Foods now if you want on Tuesday morning, right?
Thank you. I think all your criticisms are fair, but I think we've just got to, the biggest thing for me is we've got to take our chances. Anyway, talking about people who always take their chances. Oh, he's not quite with us. Yes, he is. We've been joined by George EK. How are we doing, George?
Gutted. Absolutely gutted, man.
We threw 2 points away, George. We did.
I agree with Fox. I think it was a loss. I put it down as a loss, and it was without a shadow of doubt. I was dumbfounded by me when the Rebo and Wright came up. I was like, what's this all about? I thought Wright was running them ragged by me. I mean, so was a Rebo. I just couldn't understand it. And Bacuna, he's just too slow. You know what I mean? Well, Dave was too slow, man. But honestly, I don't know what happened by it. And Alfredo should have been hooked 100%. He was missing complete settles. You know what I mean?
Listen, it just wasn't one of the days for Alfie, and I wouldn't have been upset if he'd have been hooked for Sakala or for Roof.
I mean, I wish Sakala had come on. I mean, his pace would have took him apart. Do you not agree with that?
Well, what it does, mate, it makes him go deeper. Makes him go deeper. Yeah, that's what it does, and it stretches the game and lets us get more space.
100%.
You know? Yeah. But look, hindsight's a wonderful thing, George. And it's frustrating because that's 2 games we've done similar things at Ibrox. We've been in control.
In the first half, I thought that was the best we'd played all season.
Wouldn't argue with that, mate.
Excellent, really excellent. The first half, you know what I mean? Brilliant goal and all, you know what I mean? And the second half, man, it's like a different team, innit?
I wouldn't argue with that.
I made enough chances to win that game about 3 or 4-0.
Aye, you're right, mate. We should have been out of sight, Fox. We should have been out of sight.
We need to start putting the ball away. We definitely need to start putting the ball away. Definitely. Without a shadow of doubt.
Look, it's very hard to go over the game just 10 minutes after it finished, and you try to remember everything that you thought was good and everything you thought was bad. But at the end of the day, it's 2 points dropped. We had a wee chance to open up a big gap on the rest of the teams in the league.
It would have been 4 points clear.
And now we're just 1 point in front of Hearts and a couple in front of the other ones, you know. But
we have to. Aye.
What was pleasing, Ox? What was pleasing? The first half showed you the level that we can play, and as you said earlier on, it's the best we've probably played all season. It was taking you at your seat kind of football that we've not seen for a long while, and just a failure to add to the goal that we got, which was a shame because we deserved to be about 2 up at minimum after that first half performance.
Well said.
He's right, but we weren't, and that's the trouble, Andrew, innit? That's the trouble.
Absolutely. As you said, hindsight's a wonderful thing, eh? And if you don't take your chances, and you can say this, that about the ref or this or that, but you don't take your chances, you don't do this, do that, whatever. You can blame the manager. You can, it's sort of hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it's for me it is 2 point. It's three. It's points dropped, but we go again, don't we? We go again on Thursday night, and we cheer the boys on again. But the first half performance for me, looking at that, we know we've got that in my locker, and hopefully we can take that on to the next game and into the second half as well.
That's the whole point, that people this game will be remembered for as we dropped 2 points. Everybody will forget how well we did play in the first half. Aye. And it was a second half performance. It was our failure today. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Bob, did you know how Barisic was awful?
I thought he was quite good. I thought both fullbacks were reasonable in the first half. I wouldn't have said anything was the matter. I didn't think there was a failure at all in the first half.
And the second half,
in the second half, but again, is that down to the manager telling them to stay back because they weren't as adventurous as they were in the first half?
That's what I mean. They were taking us apart in each wing, man. They were. It was like just unbelievable, man. He must have said that to them because they were fun. They were funning for players out in the wing. They were, I'm talking about.
And then
I come in there.
Just let George finish, yeah. Just wait a minute.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll let the boy in, man. Know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
No, George, on you go. No,
I mean, I'm just saying they were getting loads of space in the wing, man. They were getting loads of boxes to put balls into the box, man.
So that's how.
I had a feeling they were going to score. Do you know that? I had a bad
we've always got that feeling, George. We've always got that feeling, but that's where you've got to be tactically. You've got to be tactically clever, and when push right and hard you onto their full-backs and make it difficult for them.
Aye.
Definitely. When you go, Andrew?
Yeah, as I said earlier, when Hearts changed to a 3-4-3 in the second half, it made Barisic and Carr have to come inside. So I wouldn't. I can't blame. You can't. For me, anyway, you can't blame Barisic because Barisic had to come in out his position to go inside to mark his man. So there was that space that Hearts were exploited in the second half continuously because there was that gap on both sides, especially the right hand side.
But listen, that space isn't there. So if we put the bed to get me bed in the first half and score one of the chances.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you there totally 100%. I said that the game should have been over and done in the first half. But I was just referring to George's point that George thought Barisic was terrible. I thought he was not bad in the first half. And
the whole team, the whole team was good in the first half. I think.
Yeah, they were, of course they were. Yeah.
I think what George is saying is he'll judge Barisic in getting forward and putting the crosses in, and on the second half, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen. Whether that's what he's been told today, George, or it's not happened for him. I don't know, mate. I'd need to watch it again to have a look.
I must admit, I prefer Bassey out there. I really do. I think he offers us much more. I really do.
Don't see it, George, myself, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I don't see it. Bassey, he's enthusiastic and raw, and he's definitely got assets that Borner's no got, but Borner, I think, is ahead of him at the moment. But I don't particularly blame the two fullbacks today because if the ball is in the net, we're not talking about them. If Alan McGregor catches the ball, Fox, we're not talking about them. Yeah.
I
don't think there's any criticism can be aimed at them too.
What I don't understand, Doc. See, when we're trying to see out games, why do we stick rigidly to 4-3-3? If you're trying to see out a game, go 4-5-1. If you're trying to see out a game,
Well said.
Because
well
we get
said.
swamped in the midfield. For front three, we're trying to close down their three centre-backs. We were just passing the ball around them because we were closing down as a single entity, as one man chasing the ball. And it was comfortable for their three at the back. They get five at a minimum into the midfield against our three. And we were under pressure for 60 minutes onwards.
Aye, we were.
Aye. We did fight the game win, but then Fox, that was when the game sort of the pendulum swung, you know.
I would totally agree with that, because that's when McGregor started making outstanding saves, not talking about. I mean, before that money, really never a save to make. I mean, see the boy McLeod, man, they were just letting him saunter through. I was like, why isn't he tackling him?
Anyway, you've been joined by Albert.
All right. Well, he was
All right, mate.
Oh, he was maybe Monday, but he might have got his days mixed up. Evening, Albert, how we doing?
How you doing, George? I just come in to have my say. Sack of board, sack of management, sack of team, sack of Broxy, sack of fucking lot of them. Sorry, I just swore there. Sack a lot of them.
Right, we'll speak to you, Albert, when you're on Monday, when you're going to be very constructive in your criticism.
That Broxy Bears fault, get rid of him.
I was watching him at the start of the game, and I don't think he was getting the crowd up for it enough, mate. And that's when it all started.
That's when it all started. That's when it all started. Get Mrs. Broxy on. But it was reversed with what's been happening all season. It was a great performance and a stinking result. Whereas it's usually a stinking performance and a great result. So we got it back to front today. It's one of these things. It's, you're always, as everybody says, it's all cliche now, isn't it? You leave yourself wide open to this every time you don't put teams away. And I'll say it again, I'll be saying it all season. The front line is just toothless, absolute toothless. I don't see anything in that front line at all. That's it, mate. And it's all right saying, we've got chances, we're missing them, but it's all about taking the chance. If you create, I don't think we're creating enough chances anyway, but we're definitely not taking enough chances, the ones we do create. But at the end of the day, if you don't take the chances, you don't win the games. It's as simple as that. And
my theory on it, here's my theory on it. Yeah? You're listening intently.
Go for it.
Even though I thought he had a good game today, I think Scott Wright and when Kent's playing, they're wingers, and we're playing them as inside men. And then we end up with a lack of width, and it's pretty. Scott
Wright flatters to deceive me. I'm sick of saying this now. I'm saying it to my mate all the time. He flatters to deceive. The boy's got a bit of talent. There's no doubt about that. But he's flattering to deceive. What did he actually do the day that you went, that boy's a great, that boy's a player? He does nothing, mate. He creates nothing. He doesn't score. He doesn't shoot. He just runs about and plays wee simple passes and wee triangles. And pretty fit was all great. It's smashing to watch. It's lovely to watch. But we don't cut any teams to the shreds. We don't cut them apart. No, rip them apart.
You keep your powder dry for 48 hours.
Monday.
Yes, yeah. Go and you get that swing out and enjoy your Saturday night. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to have a beer.
Aye, all right. Now listen, just sum it up, George. Sum it up.
I just think, man, it was two different halves. First half we were excellent. Second half, man, the manager made two errors. You know what I mean? The substitutions. You know what I mean? Basically, man, we just won with the same team in the second half. We just got angry. We were angry. We were opened up easily, man. You know what I mean? On both wings. You know what I mean? Especially the right. You know what I mean? The chances I did. It's a power of chances, man. I mean, but we had enough chances to win that game, man. Like, about 3 or 4 now. We just never took our chances, man. If you don't take your chances, you don't win games. You know what I mean? Simple as.
Fox?
I can just sum it up as heartbreaking, mate. That's the word for it.
Well said, mate. Well said.
A day we should have been absolutely delighted. I'll be depressed for the whole weekend now. And it's your fault for bringing me on this show. I could have been mad myself.
Aye, we dropped 2 points. You're right. It was 3 points dropped, Fox, and we're obviously disappointed, especially when you lose the goal so late on. That's a big kicking the Homos. Andrew?
Gutted, but still, we're still top. We're still 4 points ahead of that lot.
Can I just say, I know, we could have lost that game. Barry Mackay was through, and it was a great save for McGregor. So
yeah, I didn't recognise him at first.
What was it? The hairband that done it?
The Alice band done.
But he did. He ghosted through our defence, got inside the box, sent a shot, and McGregor blocked it. But if that wasn't a warning to us, nothing was, you know.
That's what I said, Fox. Nobody attempted to make a tackle on him. Nobody.
So I think if you were reading the papers tomorrow, it'll be maybe Hearts that'll be saying they had chances to win the game as well as us, you know.
Listen, maybe you're right there, and that was the time to get Davis on and go with 4 in the midfield and 2 up front and match up. But we gave our midfield a lot of work, George, yeah?
Aye, definitely, by the way. I agree with Fox. We should have played the exact same position you said. We should have swamped the midfield, by the way, you know what I mean? So they couldn't play at all, by the way, you know what I mean? We gave them plenty time to play and run as... At times they ran as ragged. They had a power of shots in goal, didn't they?
You think that, George, but they only had 5 efforts in goal the whole game, mate.
I think McGregor made some cracking saves, man, but it's just unusual, by man, to see McGregor make an error like that, you know what I mean? It's just... It's on to that, man. It was a 1-0, wasn't it?
Maybe. You'll never know, mate. They could have went and scored 2 goals. I don't think so because of the time of the game. But you'll never know. That's the hard thing. Andrew?
Did you see them wasting time?
Aye, that's definitely the hard thing, yeah, 100%. And I just go back to George's wee comment there that he was saying when that the Rangers defence weren't gone for any tackles for the balls that were getting put through. Were 2 centre-backs are already on yellow cards at that time, so maybe they were told not to, go for, maybe go anything stupid or trying, any stupid tackles or anything like that. Maybe they were told that, I don't know, but both centre-backs were on a yellow at half-time, as we know, so...
I think I've said this before. Sometimes at the side, we have to react when teams react, and we fall out the game. That's my only observation to back up what Fox has said. Fox, last word for you, mate.
Last word for me, upwards and onwards. Roll on Thursday, we get back on the winning bus again.
I'll speak to you on Monday, Albert.
No bother, mate.
Yep. Good to speak to you, George, always.
No problem, mate.
Andrew, you have a good Saturday night. Don't get too drunk.
I won't, mate. I don't drink.
All right. Listen, this has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back on Monday night when we'll be joined by Albert between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers, and I'm sure we would expect in today's game. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Have you seen the Glasgow Rangers? Have you seen the boys in blue? Admired by all who know them. If you saw them, so would you. By all, they are good sportsmen. Fair play, they top the bowl. There's a roar that beats old Hampden. They score a winning goal. The slopes of dear old Ibrox, thousands gather for their play. They're glorious and victorious when the Rangers win the day. They have played way in Monaco, they have played in USA, but the greatest game in history, the game on New Year's Day. For it's the home of famous heroes, and their praises have been sung. They waddle Torre Gaelic, Alan Moore Wilson and George Young. When all my life has ended, and when death has made its mark, they scatter all my ashes on the slopes of Ibrox Park.